Hi, I'm Heath McGowan. I'm one of the anatomy lecturing staff at Bundoora, and I endorse this clipboard product.
This is a short presentation on the cubital fossa. So first we'll look at what an anatomical space is. So a review of anatomical spaces. They're defined by boundaries, and they have openings for communication with other parts of the body. The boundaries can be actual anatomical structures, or they can be imaginary lines defined by landmarks which are agreed by anatomical convention. They can be hard tissues like bone, or they can be soft tissues like fascia. The functions of a space can be expressed in terms of its location and or the structures within it or passing through it. So anatomical spaces are mostly just for communication with other regions, and so the structures that pass through it determine what is communicated through that space. So looking at the cubital fossa as an anatomical space in particular, we have a boundary. Our proximal boundary is the imaginary line that runs between the medial and lateral epicondyles. So this is a triangle. Our next boundary is the lateral border of pronator teres, and this makes up our medial boundary. Finally, we have the medial border of our brachioradialis. And so what we have is a triangle, our cubital fossa. Our floor is our deeper structures, so our brachialis and our supinator. And our roof is going to be our more superficial structures, so our deep fascia and aponeurosis. Contents of the cubital fossa: median nerve. We have the brachial artery, and this is at about the level where it branches into the ulnar artery and the radial artery. We're going to have a radial nerve. Obviously we had marmu as the 5 terminal branches of our brachial plexus. Our musculocutaneous branch has innervated our anterior arm muscles and becomes cutaneous. Our axillary nerve innervating our deltoid and teres minor. So we have left the median nerve, the radial nerve, and the ulnar nerve. So the ulnar nerve doesn't travel through the cubital fossa. It travels posterior and forms that funny bone which you might bump if you hit the posterior surface of your elbow. The other content of the cubital fossa is the tendon of biceps brachii. We also have neurovascular bundles, but these are located superficial to the cubital fossa. So having a look at surface anatomy and a stylized view. This is the anterior view of our cubital fossa. We have our cephalic vein, and cephalic means head, and so if you hold your upper limb straight out, abducted, the side towards your head will have the cephalic vein. The opposite side, the base or bottom, will have our basilic vein. We have our median antebrachial vein and our lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. Now, our lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm is what our musculocutaneous nerve becomes. The lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm is the termination of our musculocutaneous nerve. When it's no longer innervating muscles, it becomes more superficial and innervates skin. So have a go at labeling these diagrams of the cubital fossa. As we can see, these are anterior views. What we have is structures which are contained within our contents of our cubital fossa. So these are our neurovascular bundles, which sits more superficial on top of the cubital fossa. And finally, this is a view you might not be familiar with. Try and label this. What we can see here is a bicipital groove. So we should be able to tell what these muscles are based on that. So obviously the first thing to do is to get your bearings. Have a go at labeling that. Put your answers up on the forums and compare with everyone else. Thank you very much for your time.